On this episode of My Crispi Unafraid, the global markets are in meltdown mode. Who can survive longer? I have a feeling it's the United States of America. We're going to give you the latest financial update on everything that is going on around the world today, as it is the first full week of Liberation Week for the United States. We're also going to talk about the leftists melting down in their paid coordinated protests and some shakeup at the White House National Security Council. We didn't get to it last week, but we'll talk a little bit about it today. I want to welcome everybody to this very special Monday edition of the show today. And I need you to help us get this party started by rumbling this video, thumbs up on the browser, thumbs up on the mobile app, and please, please, please share this stream around, okay? Frankie and I are doing it. We're back. We're here. We're grinding. We're hustling. And we want to do it to the biggest audience possible, obviously. So tell your friends, tell your sisters, tell your wives, tell your husbands. Mike, Crispi, and Frankie are back and not going anywhere. We got a big show today. I'm ready. Producer Frankie's ready. You better be too, and let's go. Mike Crispi here, coming live from New York. It is Monday. It is April 7th, and I'm joined in studio by the one and only. He is the most based producer in the game, and you know he had quite a weekend this weekend because he was making the first ever episode of Last Call, which debuted on Real America's Voice TV, and the people loved it. The people were going crazy. The fanfare was through the charts. Producer Frankie was absolutely leaving it all in the field, as they say, producing a beautiful show viewed by millions. And Frankie, I would call it a success. How you doing, Warrior?
You know, it was a long week. You know, it's people don't realize we're putting on high-level broadcasts at a serious level, and it was quite the week. But yes. You know, it's there's no better feeling than just putting in crazy amount of work, grinding, and then just putting on such a beautiful product for the people. So I'm proud of what we've put out there, and I'm looking forward to things to come. It was beautiful.
Well, yes, things to come, and everybody in the chat right now, do me a favor. You can tell everybody on any network or in any live chat to check out Mike Crispi daily at 10 o'clock in the morning with producer Frankie. And obviously, people are asking about the stream. You can go watch the stream right now on the Real America's Voice Rumble page. They played the replay of the initial show. So it aired live on RAV, and then they streamed it everywhere on Sunday. So it is everywhere. You can watch it. I'm looking at the stream right now. I see it. If you go on the Rumble page, you can watch it. You can tune in. It was a big show. A lot of people loved it. A lot of social media fanfare. It airs on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, and then again on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern. And people are saying their weekend television program has never been better. Yes, Frankie?
I'll just say I see Alexanne in the chat. And Alexanne, I saw you in the solo chat Saturday night. You were waiting for it to turn on. And I had realized, they're only playing it on the all-day stream on RAV. So I was in that chat sending you links to get you to that main stream. But I guess you missed it. You had left the chat at that moment.
Frankie!
I tried.
I love that, Frankie. Frankie trying to help the people. We love that. And, we're gonna do a lot of big things with Real America's Voice. It is a new beginning for us, and we're going to keep it up on this channel here. So tell everybody, rumble.com/Crispi. We're boosting rumble.com/Crispi. And, we'll see what happens with our journey with Real America's Voice as we expand with them and as the show gets more popular. But a great first week, and I want to thank everybody for that. And you better believe we're just getting started. Now, to get into the show today, which we will still be broadcasting Monday through Thursday, most Monday through Thursdays, here on this channel. I want to obviously talk about what's going on today with the stock markets. It was tariff time last week. It was Liberation Day last week, where President Trump went in the Rose Garden and held up that chart and said that things were going to change. He said that for no longer foreign nations would rip us off. He said that we have a very sick country and there needs to be an operation done by a guy, a doctor, Dr. Trump. And there was the operation, and as Trump would say, the road to recovery is a little bit painful. It's not always easy. but it was a necessary thing that had to be done. I said it last week that no president or no leader would ever risk even one day of a bad press cycle to fix a major existential problem because they are the P word, okay? I won't say it. Can be a little more loose on this show, but, you understand what I'm saying. President Trump enacted the tariffs around the world, and, it's amazing how the foreign markets are reacting today. Again, first Monday opening up after this went into effect the middle of last week. You see here on the screen, these are the Japanese markets, and they actually had to, they're ahead of us. Japan and all the other foreign countries are like, half a day ahead of us. So they're already trading into Monday afternoon. And you can see here on the screen that the Japanese markets have gone way down, the lowest in years. So they actually had to trigger like the circuit breakers because the sell-off was so high in the Japanese stock market. So this is just an example of a country that, I guess, you would say, okay, they're our ally, and all these countries are our allies, wink, wink. Well, what does that word even mean? Ally, friend, or foe? They're still implementing tariffs. They still have a massive trade imbalance. And they still, from the outset, say, hey, we're going to get away with this as long as we can until we're forced to do something about it. I don't know if you would call that like an ally, a friend. It goes to show you that everybody kind of, at the end of the day, has to fend for their own nationalistic interests. And if the United States isn't doing that, well, then what exactly are we doing? I mean, it's a very fascinating question that begs answering. Yes, Frank.
Yeah, I'll just say, my parents come back from Florida yesterday, and I stopped by the house, say hi to everyone, and my dad, he's got Fox Business on. And, my dad, he's a huge Trumper, but he's also looking at me. He's like, what is his plan? I know he has a plan, but I wish he would just tell us what the plan was. And I'll just say, some in the chat know I sometimes I'll be on Craig's show, World HD. He's got a show on YouTube and Rumble and all these things, and he's very good with the market. Yeah. And he uses these things, he calls them harmonics, and he's, through his Excel graphs, he's able to kind of see these invisible patterns and compare them to previous trends. And through that, I mean, this man is pretty incredible. I mean, I don't want to say he could call the market every time, but it's darn near close. Like like the way he's able to look ahead.
So what's he saying, Frankie?
So what he's saying is that with the graphs that he's looking at, it looks like everything's going to perfectly hit right before the midterms. And then I said, oh, he's got a plan. Apparently.
When you say hit, you mean that it's going to pop before the midterms?
Oh, yeah. The market's going to look real good. And it's kind of crazy. I'm looking at these graphs and oh, my gosh, this guy is a genius. So we don't know, but.
Wow. We do not. And Frankie, give me a multi reset there because I clicked something, of course. Lesson learned. But so, it's very funny actually. So the markets, obviously right now I got a lot of friends, and I got a lot of friends who were saying these things to me. I got friends who work in finance. It's always a day like today. Again, like a lot of these, I'm just going to be really honest. Like we're, again, unafraid. We're kind of just like, talking, save the formal stuff for last call. A lot of my friends who work in finance, again, a lot of these podcasters, quite frankly, like they don't have any investments, they don't have any money, like they're just like losers, okay? Like they really are. Like it's the beauty, it's the great thing and the bad thing about podcasting is that whether you're left, right, middle, the barrier to entry is so low, so like anybody can do it. I think at these times you should ask every single podcaster, what their net worth is. And if it's below a certain threshold, you should just turn them off. And that would be the majority of them. Because again, a lot of them know nothing about money. I like to think I'm doing pretty good in a self-made way. And I have a lot of friends who do exceptionally well, who have chosen the path of finance, in New York and in other major cities. And I'm getting pummeled right now by friends. I got friends that are pummeling me who are saying, what's Trump doing? Then last night, the text started coming in at 6, 7 o'clock. The futures are down 1,500 points. Like I'm just getting screamed at by my friends in finance. So I get it. A lot of these people will say, oh, this is the greatest thing. Like, listen, I do think it's the best thing. But I think that if you are going to listen to a host, they have to be defending it in real conversations, okay? That's Frankie and his dad, okay, who doesn't do too shabby. That's me and some of my friends who are not doing too shabby. Like, you ought to be able to explain this stuff. So I would say to anybody right now is that everything you see is a number on a screen. unless you have to pull out the money today to go do some stuff. And it's funny, I do have one friend who actually does need to pull out the money very soon because he's buying a house. That kind of sucks. But that does kind of suck. But in 99% of circumstances, this is good for the country. And I believe it's only like 10% of Americans are actually invested in the stock market to begin with. So again, and I'm heavily invested. Somebody, who cares? Like, they're not even invested. I'm not going to name names. I'm trying to be a better person this year and be nicer and not start fights. But it's like they're not even invested. I'm heavily invested. So when I say not a big deal, you should believe it's not a big deal. Yes, Frank.
I'll just say one thing, and Trump, if you're listening, I don't know. This sounds like I've floated this idea before. I've seen other people mention it, but how amazing would it be if we had some sort of system in this country where when you're born and you're an American citizen, you get let's call it $1,000. Let's just say $1,000 gets put into the market for you, whether S&P, whether it's the NASDAQ. If everyone actually has that little, you're born and you actually have a stake in this thing, people would actually give a crap. You know what I mean? I just think that the public sentiment would change because you're right, that 10% is not a lot and it should be much more because putting your money in the market is obviously a great idea no matter what. And to actually get all these liberal people who are like, oh my God, I think if every person actually had a stake in these decisions and they actually could see what their money is going and how the market affects it, I just think it would be a huge move for America. I don't know if it would crash the economy.
I think by and large, if we just had more financial literacy, like if people just knew anything about anything, then we'd be in a good position. But it's tough out there. It's tough because most people don't know anything about anything. Yeah.
Mike, here's my genuine question to you. What do you remember from biology in high school? AP Bio.
Nothing.
What do you got?
It was a waste of time.
A waste of time. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd also argue that if that biology class was replaced with this is how you use the market instead of you have to go into this niche business class. No, it's America. These things should be taught, and they're purposely not taught. Obviously, why don't we learn about mortgages? Why don't we learn about anything in elementary? Not even middle school and high school. These things should be brought to us as children.
No, they'll never do it. They'll never do it, and they'll never teach us about it. And, the news will go on and defend the indefensible. The news will go on and defend, basically economic fraud purported by China. They'll act like if things are looking good right now, then everything is great. Oh, look at it, the market, this and that. But what we get? I saw a very interesting example. Frank, you put this on screen. These are the Chinese markets today. Okay, the Chinese markets are plummeting. This is the lowest the Chinese markets have been in over a decade. These are Chinese stocks. You can see right here. Chinese market is down an average of 10% today. They have not felt this type of economic pain in a long time, in a very long time. So the Chinese market's down today, but they don't talk about that. And I'll tell you something else, as far as all this goes. All I see on TV are people basically defending the stance of the globalists on television. And my question is when I see things like people, and this is on multiple channels, people mocking Trump putting the tariff on the Penguin Island. Okay, everyone was like, oh, I put the tariff on the Penguin Island. And Frankie sent me a clip. I'll just call a spade a spade. He sent a clip of me, and I was watching the Sunday shows yesterday, and I saw Howard Lutnick handle it very well. But then I saw Cabinet Secretary Brooke Rollins just absolutely do horrible answering the question.
Should be fired for that response.
She did a terrible job. She should be fired. It's so stupid. It's like she goes, she couldn't answer the question. Why is the tariffs coming in on the Penguin Island? It's very simple. And Lutnick said it perfectly. It is to close the loopholes, okay, that we are dealing with right now. And the loopholes we're dealing with right now is, what would China do? China, because somebody owns that island. You think the Penguin Island is just unowned? Somebody owns it.
Oh, know who owns it? Australia.
Who owns it?
Australia.
Australia, okay. So Australia owns the Penguin Island. So what happens? So then China makes a deal with Australia to send their shit through the Penguin Island. They build the port at the Penguin Island. They send it to the Penguin Island. Then they send it to the United States of America. No tariff. China's got a ton of money. They're rich as can be. We made them rich off the backs of our, getting scammed by, their economic fraud over the last couple of decades. Then they just do it all through that island. And then it takes us months and months. And then Trump has to go backtrack and go, okay, we have to put a tariff on them. And people go, look, Trump wasn't even prepared. He got duped by China, who just sent it through the Penguin Island. That's what they would say. But now the CNN people go, oh, well, look, Trump is putting a tariff on a Penguin Island. It isn't even real. Can you believe that? He's doing that. He's putting the tariff. It's like you can't win with these people because they don't want to see America win. Isn't it fascinating?
It's unbelievable.
They don't want to see America win. They if Trump didn't put the tariff on the Penguin Island and China just did all their exports and imports through that, people would just say, Trump is one step behind China. No, he's actually ahead of the game. Closing the loopholes. Baseline tariff. So nobody can do the pass-through thing. People are crying about these baseline tariffs. Oh, these are smaller countries that don't have the ability, they don't have the economic GDP. It's like, okay, well, China will just make them the next global superpower at the expense of the United States.
They're basically
I see Ben Shapiro. Hold on. Frankie. I see Ben Shapiro crying about Israel. Oh, Israel's such a great ally of the United States. How dare Trump put the tariff on them? And I'm just like, stop it.
No one's taking him seriously anymore.
Can we just think in the interest of America for a minute? You're crying because of the tariff rate. Oh, well, Israel imports this and Israel exports that, and they're way smaller. And then this country in Africa doesn't have a GDP. So, of course, they're not. Of course, there's an imbalance. We can't do that. And this Penguin Island, everybody is making every case against Trump for some foreign influence. And it's so bizarre to me. Yes, Frankie, sorry I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to compare this to, I don't remember the exact details, but almost like Trump is protecting that land that's only inhabited by penguins at the moment in the same way that he doesn't want that to become like the Las Vegas. And I'll explain that. Las Vegas became what it was because it was like it was a spot where people had to stop on their planes to get to other places going to LA.
Yes.
And because of that, people were like, oh, wow, this is like a perfect spot to put all these amazing shows and all these gambling and fun. We look ahead. It's like, oh, look at Trump. Trump made those tariffs. And then all of a sudden, the McDonald Island and the Herd Island, look at this. They were nothing before, but because of Trump's tariffs, look at these flourishing places that it's like he's just thinking 10 lines ahead. And people are just like, what an idiot. There's no humans there. Yeah, not right now.
They're pissed.
And because of this, there won't be. It's a joke.
Exactly. It's so true. So Trump on the plane talking about it yesterday. And you know what has been the best about Trump through this whole thing? Hasn't flinched once. You don't think all his donors and the people who, in the Trump movement, you don't think a lot of the money people are calling him pissed off? Of course they are. They're like, oh my goodness. They're very heavily invested in the stock market. Trump's not flinching. I like the body language. Roll it.
Is there pain in the market? At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I think I don't want anything to go down. But sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country. On a monthly basis, it's pouring, it's already started because they put tariffs on. And eventually it's going to straighten out and our country will be solid and strong again.
And I tell you this, if you think about it too, our country will be solid and strong again. And it is amazing to me how people, they've gotten so used to mediocrity. Oh, this is cheap. Oh, this is, Chinese goods. And, you get this. What do you get? You get unhealthy, chemically concocted, poisonous, horrible quality. So if you have a product that costs $20, Chinese made, but $25 American made. Okay, let's say it's like a pen, okay? And the pen in it is made with cheap ingredients, and let's say like the ink is poisonous and it's gonna break in a year, and you have that, and you take the money and China makes all the profit of it, and then you have a pen made in America that costs a couple of more dollars, but it's gonna last 5 times as long, and the ingredients are healthy, and it's gonna write well, and it's gonna be better. Just everything in the country will be better quality, and then the dollars will be kept in America, and then the demand for the American product will be higher, and then more people will get more jobs, and then that'll lead to a bigger spending power within the country. It'll lead to corporations hiring more people, and then if you drive down corporate tax rates, then that raises wages, then increases spending power. It's going to lead to an economic resurgence. Yes, Frank?
Yeah, and then you have people, you have women going to Lululemon, right, and buying yoga pants for $300 with forever chemicals that are coming from China that they don't even realize that are, I mean, it's so bad. And then Lululemon gets all this from China, and then there's all this extra that they weren't able to sell, and then that extra stock goes to Costco, and then people buy them for cheaper, and everyone's getting poisoned, and China's the only one that's winning. That's it.
They absolutely are. And it's funny because, if you think about it, like during the COVID times, everyone's like, oh my goodness, we can't get any. Remember when there was like a shortage of everything because we realized at the time that we didn't make any drugs in America, like even like basic things, like we couldn't get ibuprofen in America because like a lot of the main components were made in China. Do we want to be in that position? Again, these are permanent problems. Now you could put your eyes like this and go, oh, the market's up a little bit. Or you could course correct, and then when we're self-sustained, the American markets will be booming. Which is it? Here is, this morning, this is on Fox Business, our girl Maria Bartiromo, fellow Italian-American broadcaster.
Combed hair.
Market recorrections. Roll, Frank.
The market overreaction is unbelievable, as we've been discussing all morning. But more importantly, for investors out there saying, oh my goodness, what just happened to my portfolio? Typically in every single one of these situations outside of 2008, when you have these sorts of pullbacks, you are significantly higher 3 months later, 6 months later, 12 months later.
Significantly higher 3, 6, 12 months later. What's in 12 months? Frank is making a point. That is right around the time of the midterms. Right around the time of the midterms. I know it very well. The midterms are June 2026. Okay, that's when the primaries start. And then November is the general election. Yeah, Frankie, a little hammering outside. But unbelievable. See, that's American workers out there getting to work. So as you guys can see, 6 months, 12 months. Are you not talking, Frankie? I understand. Are you just like smiling and laughing at me? Are you frozen?
I'm not frozen. I'm right here.
I don't know. Frankie's just okay. I don't know what's going on.
Seemed like you were distracting
yourself. He's giving me like this look where his mouth's half open. But anyway, so. Let's roll this next clip here. Countries coming to the table already. This is the inevitable path. And if the mainstream media reported on it like this, then my question is, would the market be in such a sell-off mode? Like, what are they selling it off for? What's like the means to the end of the sell-off? Oh my goodness, it's so bad. Like they just have a massive sell-off. For what? Like, why is everybody in such a panic? I think it was Warren Buffett saying it the other day. He's like, if these people are so panicked and they're just going to sell everything off at the first inkling of anything changing, like, these people are not even mentally equipped to make money off of stocks. I think Trump reposted that on Truth Social. Countries coming to the table. Roll this, Frank.
I got a report from the USTR last night that more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation. But they're doing that because they understand that they bear a lot of the tariff. And so I don't think that you're going to see a big effect on the consumer in the U.S. because I do think that the reason why we have a persistent long-run trade deficit is these people have very inelastic supply. They've been dumping goods into the country in order to create jobs, say, in China.
So you see there, these people, Vietnam and these other countries, they're already willing to have conversations. because they are so much smaller and so much more incapable of doing a lot of the basic things where they know they can't function on their own. They know they can't function without America consuming their goods, that they have to make a deal. It's a basic leverage play. America's the number one consumer on the planet. What does that mean? That means that every other country that exists needs America in order to make money. So if it now costs more for the foreign product than the American product and they can't make money, they're going to have to make a deal. Otherwise, their economy goes belly up. It's obvious. But everybody's selling it off in the market today? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Losers.
So you mentioned
Yes,
Vietnam,
Frank.
and that can bring me back to my example of our Lululemon jogging pants. Lululemon gets their equipment, their material. They get it from Vietnam, Cambodia, China, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. So what you're going to see now is that companies, American companies like Lululemon, are going to look and say, oh, well, you know what? With these new tariffs, it actually pays to just get things straight from the United States, these clothes made exactly from the United States. So now Vietnam is freaking out because now they got to figure out what to do. And look at that. Our economy is coming back before our very eyes, Mike. It's incredible.
Before
What's
our very
happening
eyes.
quickly.
So like these people are so hamster on a treadmill condition, like one day of uncertainty that everyone freaks out. I just say enjoy the ride, because this is what we call the golden age, baby. Whether you like it or not. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with so much more. Do not go anywhere. A little bit of a long segment there, but we're having a good time.
Always
Frankie
a
and
good
I,
time.
We're freewheeling. We're dishing. Log23 says, Frankie, you're so funny. We got Liberty in the chat. The mainstream media is pushing the lies. Idiots sell. But again, look at the gold and silver play by the global banks. I like a nice engaged live chat. We got Jersey Jane. We got Kit Kat Mar. We got T. Mitchell. We got Robbie
Vintage
in the house saying
with the
he does
best
not
comment.
watch Ben Shapiro. Our girl Vintage Lulagal in the chat. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. We're so appreciative. It means the world to us because we put a lot into the show. So we appreciate everybody who helped make the debut of Last Call a great success. And we're really just getting started on it. We're going to have another great episode this week as we continue on taking over the airwaves of Real America's Voice TV. It's going to be good. So, Log is not giving up. Alex Ann says, Log, you never give up. This guy, Log, wants to be on the show, okay? Log, how about this? If you make your own Rumble channel, and if you do 50 episodes of The Log Show, okay, do your own podcast, call it The Log Show, just like that, The Log Show. I want to see 50 episodes, okay, to show some commitment. And when I see the 51st episode, and you have stuck with it, I will have you on Last Call, all right? All right, fair? 50 shows, Log. Let's see it.
You don't get to
50
call.
shows.
You don't get to
And
call
then
me
you
for
get to come
technical
on.
advice. Okay, I'm unavailable.
Yeah. Let's see you do it. And there you go. So, all right, guys. I want to tell you about the sponsors of our show today. I want to tell you about our first sponsor of the broadcast, who's making this possible. And our first sponsor are our friends over at OFPFarms.com. Guys, head on over to OFPFarms.com. And you know what? I kind of want to.
I knew
we
it.
got the promo code Crispi, but I can't help myself. I can't help myself. Are you gonna? Yeah, guys. How about this? If you watch Last Call, I know the OFP people. I know OFP people are gonna get mad at me for this. Denise and them, but I love them. I love Denise and Corey. I'm sorry, but I have to do it because I just love it. Guys, use promo code Last Call at OFP Farms. Do it. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. Promo code Last Call. Pop that on the screen, Frankie. Promo code Last Call for 20% off your order at OFPFarms.com. Okay, guys, you got to do it. The promo code's Last Call. Okay, and you'll get 20% off. It's the new viewer special for the audience on Real America's Voice, but I'm going to give it to you today as a promotion. So please head on over to OFPFarms.com and use promo code Last Call. Guys, they got soaps, lotions, lip balms, beard products, you name it. The main ingredient is goat milk, okay? Goat milk and tallow, very, very healthy. And I hear people who, Frankie's got it. Look at that. I hear people, people were sending me DMs and sending me messages, and they were talking to me about The fact they'd never heard about OFP, people who are watching Rav for the first time, or showing Rav for the first time, they'd never heard about OFP. And it was amazing on the live chat, like during the show, people were like, oh, what's this OFP? And other people were like, oh no, OFP is amazing, blah, blah, blah. So leave that on the screen there, Frankie, for a minute. Use promo code LASTCALL for 20% off your entire order today. Guys, you are going to feel amazing. This is Maha. This is Make America Healthy Again. Made in the USA products. The best quality, the best people. And you know what? They could really use your help, okay? So help stimulate the local American economy. Get this amazing, amazing household products with the amazing goats. Vince Zulagal says, whip tallow on my face at night. Good for the day. And you know what? It'll keep you looking vibrant and beautiful till at least age 83. So guys, I heard Trump, that's the secret to Trump reverse aging is he used OFP Farms, puts the tallow on his face every day. So guys, use OFPfarms.com. Be healthy. And use that promo code, last call, for 20% off. Last call to celebrate the new success of our amazing debut on Rav. Okay, do it. We love it. Thank you very much. We got it. And what's my favorite flavor? I'm a daily grind guy because I love coffee. I drink so much coffee every day. Frankie's a cherry almond guy. Our boy John Cross, the conservative accountant, he's a eucalyptus guy. I mean, we got, we agree on everything for the country. Our only disagreement is what our favorite OV flavor is. Frankie, what do you have to say?
I just have to say that, again, I told you my parents went to Florida, so when they're in Florida, I usually go to their place, take care of things, and I didn't have my OFP deodorant. And let me just say the difference.
Uh-oh.
I go back to my apartment,
Terrible.
I got the good stuff. Not that I smelled terrible, but I knew I was poisoning myself. And then you come back and it's like, this is what it's supposed to be. How God intended it.
Chemically concocted stuff is what you buy in the big box stores. OFP has that handmade, healthy, beautiful. So guys, please use the promo code Last Call. Help them out. They are amazing. Don't shop at Costco. Shop at OFPfarms.com. Use the promo code and save 20%. It's an amazing deal. Let's go. All right. Frankie, how we doing?
We're doing fantastic, and I think we're ready to rock.
Are we? I don't know.
I think so. I see Log says I'm springy today. I'm dressed like spring. And listen, all I have to say is, April showers. They better bring those May flowers or whatever, because it's been rain misery in New York the past 5 days, and it doesn't seem like
true.
Anything's going to be changing in the next few. So
I would check the weather, but I don't want to ruin our connection. What's the weather in New York City? 42. Yeah, it's like so terrible.
He knows the rules.
Where I turned it off. Where is the global warming? Where is it? I want it. All right, let's get back into it, Frank.
On in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Mike Crispi here, producer Frankie, and coming off of a big weekend. Now you get Crispi and Frankie almost every single day of the week. I mean, what an amazing concept. You now get us on the weekends at Real America's Voice, and I have a feeling we've only just begun. Okay, I feel like a lot of really good things are in store. But we're continuing on today and every day. Mike Crispi Unafraid, Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time streaming, and we are going to Tim Walz, Frankie. So I want to continue on here on our discussion when it comes to the way that these tariffs are going to be received by the voters. Again, my friends in the finance world who are a little bit jaded, just a little bit jaded, who are freaking out today, don't understand that the everyday worker right now is saying, yes, finally, somebody's doing something for the forgotten men and women who work at these auto plants that are going out of business or have already moved away, or who are maybe going to come back and stimulate an economy and a community. Who is going to do it? Trump is the only guy who's actually done what both parties said they would do for the last 20, 30 years, advocate for the middle class and the working poor, and the only guy who's doing it. And you know what? Everybody gets richer as a result of that. Everybody, except for the top, we'll call it 1,000 globalists, but that's literally who controls the Democrat Party and many elements of the Republican Party, by the way. Here is Jake Tapper And Tim Walz, who seems to be he's like the de facto leader of the Democrat Party right now. I guess the only guy who wants to do it. Yeah, he's just like, it's pretty wild how like he's like the de facto leader now. It's like kind of a trend now. It's not like he just did a couple town halls. Like he's out there now. Like he took a little break and now he's back. Can't stay away. Can't stay away from the horses. Can't stay away from the cameras now. It's unbelievable. If you know, you know. Here is Tim Walz getting owned by, of all people, Jake Tapper. Roll, Frank.
President Trump argues that these tariffs are needed to bring American manufacturing back and to help American workers left behind in places like Minnesota. He has support from the UAW. The UAW called his auto tariffs, quote, a long overdue shift away from a harmful economic framework that has devastated the working class. It signals a return to policies that prioritize the workers who build this country rather than the greed of ruthless corporations, unquote.
As you can see, Tim Walz there looking absolutely shell-shocked and stunned. Absolutely shell-shocked and stunned because he has no answer for it. The auto workers, the people who were saying Trump, does that continue on, Frankie, that clip?
Nope, that's it. Just wanted the graph up.
Okay, there it is. In a victory for auto workers, auto tariffs marked the beginning of the end of NAFTA and the free trade disaster. Again, this was the backbone of the Democrat coalition for the last 30 years. The group that just put out this statement. And if you want to talk about fundamental things that matters to these people, it's not LGBTQ poetry slam. It's not DEI. It's not an obsessiveness on killing babies and abortions. It's this stuff. It's the everyday kitchen table issues. It's the people who work around the country who learned a skill 30 years ago. That's a very important skill, a lot of pride, helps the country, and they've seen it be ripped away and sent to another country. It kind of sucks. Kind of a really, and if you can't put yourself in those people's shoes, well then yes, you're an elitist globalist. Like, have I ever worked in manufacturing? No. Do I have family members who work in manufacturing? No. But can I conceptually resonate with what these people are going through? Yeah, I think I can. So it's not that hard to do. That's how out of touch these people are. If you can't even think and compartmentalize, like how helpless that feels. And then if you cannot compartmentalize how angry these people would feel, if they voted for these people for the last 30 years, who paid a lot of lip service and then did nothing about it because they didn't want one day of bad press. If you can't put yourself in their shoes, Tim Walz apparently can't. He looks shell-shocked, stunned. Well, they were never on your side to begin with. Frauds. Here's Nancy Pelosi paying the lip service back in the day when this was starting and people were starting to get a little mad about it. Nancy Pelosi would say, well, we should do reciprocal tariffs. What an ideal. What a concept. It never happened, but she talked tough to get reelected and to get campaign money and to fool her voters. Here it is. Roll it, Frankie.
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker? And how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? As I mentioned, it's about jobs, proliferation, and human rights. And there are those who say we shouldn't link human rights and trade and proliferation and trade. I disagree. But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now.
Wow.
I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of you each and every one of us to endorse today.
Wow. Wow. She sounds like she's in the Trump cabinet. She sounds a lot different too, Frankie. She was like, like cunning and smart.
None
and
of her teeth are fake then.
And again, her teeth were, she wasn't hitting the bottle, or her husband hadn't been outed as, hiring gay prostitutes with hammers. So, I mean, Nancy Pelosi there, I believe paying what's called the lip service. Okay, when I say the lip service, I mean saying it because it made sense, but damn well knowing nothing would be done about it. That's my interpretation of that clip. People are like, what changed with Nancy Pelosi? I don't think anything changed with Nancy Pelosi. What I think is that was Nancy Pelosi in the back room figuring out, all right, what do I go out and say to make it look like I'm fighting for these workers? Because it's obviously a problem. They're obviously upset about it. It's never going to happen. But what kind of political theater can I put on for the voters to make it look like I'm fighting for them? And then when it doesn't get done, I'm going to blame the big bad Republicans who only fight for the elitists, right? That's what they say. Can't play that scam anymore. Trump has turned it upside down on their head. Which leads me to the next portion here is the demonstrations that have gone on. Like, what are the Democrats and the leftists demonstrating about these days? You see demonstrations happening all around the country over the last couple of weekends. It seems like every weekend there's like some mass demonstration going on. And, you know, I guess you could say that some of these demonstrators are real, but a lot of them are very much paid and organized. I saw it personally firsthand. 2 Saturdays ago when I helped to lead a counter demonstration that was going on at the Paramus Tesla dealership. Our friend Vintage Lugal was there. So I watched how staged and choreographed all of this was. The pre-printed signs, this, that, like I watched it. And then I listened to the few people who were like the leaders of this thing, who I guess kind of believe it, who were saying what they want. And it's kind of like a weird melding of grievances. It's like illegal criminal invader welfare fraudsters and mooches, like they are kind of like upset. Okay. People who don't like Elon Musk cutting $1 trillion of waste, fraud, and abuse, like they're upset because they're going to get more money and like a Doge dividend. And, you know, government workers who can't justify their existence are getting cut. And, you know, foreign aid that goes to third world countries that gets laundered back into the hands of oligarchs, like that's getting cut. And they're protesting that, Frankie. And they say he's literally a fascist for cutting this. Like, you don't cut the size of government and then don the label of fascist. Like, that's counterintuitive. That's like saying, here is, you know, a cake. Eat the cake and now you're on a diet. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. This woman needs a diet. One of the few on the Democrat Party who is, again, one of the speakers, the figureheads of this. Listen to the mental illness radiate off your screen. Roll it.
My name is Grace Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer,
Get her.
and unashamed.
Where's Tom?
Did she say unafraid? Hopefully she didn't say the words unafraid. Those are our words. She's undocumented. Hey, Tom Oman. Right there. Can't miss her. Go get him. So what are you exactly celebrating and demonstrating for there? Who are the people in the crowd chanting? Newsflash, the people in the crowd chanting and the people in the crowd supporting that, well, those people are the paid actors. Frankie, let's roll some of this footage we got. This comes from our friend Laura Loomer, who we're going to talk about in the next segment, who is blowing the doors off of this with their investigative reporting in D.C. Just roll this, Frankie. We have we'll call it pre-made signs that are loaded onto the buses. And they bus these people in. And again, this is not new. They bus these people in from a location 20, 30, 40, 50 miles away. They go to like the most Democrat slum area and they tell these people, hey, we'll give you $100 today. If you get on this bus, we'll give you free lunch too. Get on the bus, come into this specific place, do a demonstration, yell, scream, cheer for this demented fat psychopath saying that she's undocumented. And then when you do that, you'll get your money, you'll get your food, you'll have a mask so they'll never see who you are, and then you will help accomplish what we want to accomplish. And here's the thing. These people do exist that are willing to do this. They are leftists, okay? There are leftists in this world. I have kind of resigned to the fact that 30% of our population truly has reached the point of mental illness, the pale of no return. And listen, it's just reality. Like, facts are facts. Like, if propaganda and like communist stuff didn't work, well, then they wouldn't keep doing it. Like, propaganda works. But here's where I blow the whistle and call it a fraud. If you had organic uprisings in places that, again, organic. I'm talking like Stop the Steal rallies back in 2020. I'm talking like when people were coming out for Trump, like Trump rallies. That's organic. You put it out, and people just flock and descend. Having organized signs and a busing program to like create a sense of people in one area, that is not an organic protest or uprising. I see people on the right saying, "Oh no, you could call it paid, but they're still there demonstrating. We need to be vigilant about it." Yeah, I get it, but it's a little bit more complex than that. It is perception. Does this clip roll? It's my friend Bo Diddle on that. So
there's audio on it if you want to play.
Perception. I'm sorry.
There's audio on it. So if you want me to play it, I'll play it. He's talking though.
Yeah, let's roll it. Let's roll the clip.
Me and Gabe took about a 30-minute break, and we went back to the hotel to recharge. When we come back, and this place is dead. Take a look. Like, not a single protester in sight. And just 20 to 30 minutes ago, it was completely packed with protesters. So one of two things. Either A, they were paid and their time was gone, they're off work, they get to go. Or B, they're literally just a cult and they all left at once. Like, it's one of the two options.
Okay, I would argue.
So
there's another option.
So, yeah.
I mean, there's another option that they got on that bus and then went on to the next city and then got there for CNN to broadcast that protest. And look, every city, 40, 50 cities. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. I mean, also, Mike, they're all wearing the same.
They're all wearing the masks.
But also the checkered white, black. Like, what do you think? Because the person paying you saying, okay, wear this so we can identify you.
Blend in. Yeah. Blend in. Yeah. Blend in. You do it. They'll just look like a herd of masses. Frankie's right. I actually think Frankie's absolutely right. Get paid to go onto the next site. Again, I was there at the Tesla dealership, and it was so weak. They came out in coordinated fashion. They all popped up at once, and they were all late. And they all popped up at once. And you know what? They popped up late, so like we had the space in front, like our counter demonstration. We actually got there on time. We had the space right in front of the dealership. So you know what they did? They kind of all showed up at once. They kind of looked. They're like, all right. So they set up down the block, like with their pre-made signs. And you know what? Every single one of them, Frankie, in every single demonstration, whether it's a demonstration in Paramus or in New York City or in Washington, I noticed this on like the clips I see online. Everyone has a Luigi costume to like antagonize about like Luigi Mangione for some reason. I'm not kidding. Like there's always one that is a Luigi costume that gets put on video. It's like it's all the same. It's like it's almost like they have a textbook. It's like, okay, someone's gonna wear the Luigi costume, so people film you and you like kind of say like, oh, Luigi Mangione was right, and just like antagonize. So like I'm telling you, dude, bizarre. Super bizarre. But it's obvious. So, when people say, oh, they're still out there, like, don't take your eye off the ball, I get that. But I think what's even bigger of a problem is, one, who funds this? Two, how is it funded? And three, what is the who is the root of this?
Say hello to George.
It's kind of unbelievable. Last word, Frankie. Last word on this, Frankie.
No, that was my Elon impression. Say hello to George for me, Soros, who you're paid by. That's all I got, pal.
Yes. Frankie was Elon. That's a very interesting Elon impression. So there you go. The paid demonstrators, they'll keep getting paid because they got endless cash flow and it's coming through Act Blue, so no one can really tell where it's coming from. And I would say don't be too worried about an organic uprising, but be very worried about people manipulating the fake news. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap the show. Do not go anywhere.
Boom.
Boom. All right, guys. Wonderful. We're doing great. I want to tell you guys about our. We got I love Vintage Lulu in the chat. Where's the next counter protest? I'll be there. Let's go. I love it, guys. Support our next sponsor of the show and our next sponsor of the broadcast. A very important sponsor, our friends over at iTarget Pro. Guys, head over to iTargetPro.com right now and use that promo code Crispi for 10% off your order. iTarget Pro is hot. People love iTarget Pro. We were advertising it yesterday over the weekend on Real America's Voice. People were loving it. So, guys, iTargetPro.com. Use that promo code Crispi. It's such a great product. It's a revolutionary product. It's a laser firearm home training system. What that means is that from the comfort of your own home, you could train with your firearm. It's a laser bullet that gets loaded into the chamber. You're able to dry fire, with that laser bullet, and it syncs up with the app. It's so easy to use. My 64-year-old father uses it. He has no social media, no technology, doesn't even own a printer, it has nothing. But he's able to use the iTarget and the app, seriously. So he uses it every day, and that's why they're a sponsor. And the promo code is Crispi, and you get 10% off your order. So if you saw it over the weekend and you're a super fan and you saw it on Rav, and now you're seeing it here, guys, be a supporter of the show by getting these amazing products. If you have a birthday, an anniversary, Easter gift, why buy little chemically concocted Easter eggs with poisonous food and nonsense in it? Buy your sons and daughters an iTarget Pro, That's what they should have in their Easter basket. Am I right, Frankie? Have an iTarget Pro in there for them.
With a gun. Just kidding. But maybe not.
Yes.
They deserve
No, not kidding. Guns sold separately. So we appreciate iTarget Pro, guys. Please go use promo code Crispi for that 10% off discount. And I'm telling you, coolest product. The people love it. And if you don't have one, you need one. And they've been a great sponsor. Yes, it calculates the speed in between the rounds for the cubes.
No, and they're actually asking, yes, you can put in how many are in the chamber in the app, so it will know when you're out of bullets. Calculating the round drop. I believe that's what they meant.
Go.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, guys, go support them. iTarget Pro. Frankie, let's roll right back into it.
Rolling on in 5, 4, 3. Not quite. 5, 4, 3, and action.
Welcome back to the show. Mike Crispi here, and I want to wrap the show on an interesting note. Last week, President Trump made an announcement that he was firing several members of his National Security Council. That's a pretty big position. That's a position that reports to Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and they advise the presidents on matters that quite literally have to do with war and peace and attacks and not making attacks and treaties and deals. And it's a very, very important position. President Trump has pledged no neocons, no globalists in the administration. President Trump can't hire every single person. Obviously, he has his lieutenants, his people in the cabinet who make those decisions that he entrusts and empowers. Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, made hires. And very interestingly enough, President Trump himself, once he caught wind that some of those hires were not the right people, were known neocon types, the same people that Trump announced on day one would not be welcome in his administration, he fired them immediately. I said to myself, this is great. It shows that Trump is not messing around. But this came right after Laura Loomer, friend of the show, was in the Oval Office and had a meeting with Trump. And it's amazing to me how the left is upset. Like, you would think that they would be delighted and gleeful about members of Trump administration getting fired and infighting, but it seems like they're upset. And I wonder why they're upset. Let's roll this clip from Jen Psaki, and then Adam Schiff we got a clip of. Both upset. Roll it.
Call it a close personal friendship with Trump over the years, cozying up to him at Mar-a-Lago events, and even traveling with Trump on the campaign trail last year, you can see right there. Even accompanying him to a 9/11 anniversary observance in Lower Manhattan. I mean, that was quite a choice by Trump. It was so outrageous that actually fellow Republicans finally pushed Trump to distance himself from Loomer and boot her off his plane. Just take a minute to sit with this. The president and a number of his key cabinet members and his chief of staff had to listen to rantings of a 9/11 conspiracy theorist in the Oval Office. Imagine being Howard Lutnick listening to that. Remember, his financial firm, Cantor Fitzgerald, lost 658 people in the World Trade Center on 9/11, including his own brother. So what was Loomer really there for? I mean, according to the New York Times, she walked into the White House with a sheaf of papers attacking the character and loyalty of numerous NSC officials. Now, to be clear, these weren't exactly rogue liberals she was attacking, not people just secretly Democrats in the rough there. I mean, a lot of these people had actually worked for the Trump administration during the first term. But Loomer said they were disloyal to Trump because they were, quote, neocons. Now, sources tell NBC News that Waltz stood up for his employees in the meeting. But remember, he's on pretty thin ice right now in the White House. Mainly, it seems, over the fact that he had Jeffrey Goldberg's contact in his phone, less than over the group chat he initiated that included attack plans and emojis. Who knows? With that aside, in the end, it seems Waltz's National Security Council got Loomered. Now, that is her term, not my term. But after that meeting...
All right, there you go. So she's upset. They got Loomered. They got fired. And here's how you know it was the right move. One, Loomer stands nothing to gain from this. Two, Adam Schiff, he was melting down about it too. Roll it.
Just yesterday, we learned of another purge, this time at the National Security Council. If firing of inspector generals and ethics lawyers and career prosecutors wasn't enough, senior officials at the NSC just got shown the door. Among others, Lieutenant General Timothy Hawk, the well-respected director of the National Security Agency, the NSA, and commander of Cybercom, fired. Not because of incompetence, no. Not because he was responsible or involved in the Signal group, no. The folks in that Signal chat, they're doing just fine. No, these folks were fired because a right-wing influencer and conspiracy theorist apparently told the president to get rid of them. Because an internet troll, not an intelligence professional in any sense of the word, walked into the Oval Office and claimed that these officials were not sufficiently loyal to the president. National security be damned.
An internet troll. So what is Jen? I mean, again, what would you call Jen Psaki and the people on the mainstream media? Are they leftist TV trolls? Like, see how they minimize it? And you see how he's angry about it? Here's my mic drop on this. You know that this was good and that Loomer is doing good work because all the right people are pissed off, okay? Trump acted swiftly on it, and that shows that he is not playing games this time around, which is great. No Pompeos, none of the Haley, none of that nonsense. So I love it. All right, guys. That's about the time that we have on the show today. You guys know what we do in this program. We keep it America first. We keep it bold. We always keep it unafraid. You better believe we are just getting started. We appreciate everybody who has tuned into the show. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you are rumbling. Make sure you are sharing. Make sure you are subscribed. Rumble.com/Crispi. Make sure you guys are following Real America's Voice TV, where we air Saturdays and Sundays. Our new show, Last Call with Mike Crispi. And you know what I always say? You better believe we're just getting started. We thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you back live tomorrow.